Hi, I'm Cami, and I'm one of the executive co-chairs of Northwestern University Dance Marathon.
Hi, I'm Aisha, and I'm the other executive co-chair.
Congratulations on another successful year, ECF. Now in its 47th year, NUDM is a year-long effort culminating in a 30-hour-long dance marathon at Northwestern with over 1,000 dancers, historically raising over $1 million each year. This year, we are benefiting Compass to Care and ECF.
We are so honored to be partnering with ECF for the 24th year this year. ECF has been NUDM's longtime secondary beneficiary, and since 1997, we've fundraised $1 million together for ECF. As Northwestern students, we have a duty to uplift Evanston, the place we call home for 4 years.
NUDM and Northwestern would not be where they are today without Evanston's support. Members of NUDM value giving back to the community that we are lucky enough to call home. With ECF, we work to enrich and unite Northwestern and its surroundings to make long-lasting impacts for future generations.
As executive co-chairs, Cami and I have the honor of serving on the Rapid Response Grants Committee. We are so grateful to be able to support the organizations that need the funding the most right now due to the pandemic. We are especially proud to partner with the ECF this year because of all the work they've done and continue to do to help Evanston's response to coronavirus.
Evanston is such an important part of our Northwestern experience. We look forward to another amazing year of partnership between NUDM and ECF and working together to make Evanston a good place for all.
Welcome. We are so thrilled you have joined us in this year's virtual grant awards and annual meeting. My name is Tim Russell, and I am so pleased to be hosting this year's event. As the former ECF board secretary and as the partner of ECF's very own VP of Philanthropy, Joy Nisa Russell, I have seen the impact of the foundation, and I continue to see it every day, especially in these very unique times. South African theologian and Nobel Peace Prize awardee Desmond Tutu once said, "Do your little bit of good where you are. It's those little bits of good put together that overwhelm the world." When I think of ECF, this is what comes to mind. Community members doing their little bit of good, coming together and overwhelming the Evanston community with resources and, more importantly, with love for our home. You see, ECF is able to harvest all this good into ensuring that the Evanston community can respond to meet the emerging needs and tackling long-standing problems with equity as its cornerstone. I can talk forever about why ECF is important, but you did not join us today to hear from me. Tonight, I look forward to hearing from some of the local leaders who are implementing the services that ECF helps to support. I thank you for joining us on this very special evening. And now, I am pleased to welcome President and CEO of ECF, Monique Jones. Monique has been expertly leading the team in these unprecedented times. Welcome, Monique.
Thank you, Tim. Good evening, everyone. My name is Monique Jones, and I am proud to serve as the President and CEO of the Evanston Community Foundation. Thank you for joining us this evening. We would have never thought the event would look like this a year ago. And yet, so much has changed over the course of the year. Some change has been for worse, and some for better. While a pandemic still infiltrates the world, there has been an awakening to the social injustices that have too long plagued this country. With this change, we reaffirm our mission and remain committed to investing in a vibrant, equitable, and inclusive community. And we remain committed to investing in systems that will challenge these social injustices we see exacerbated by the pandemic. Systems that work. The Evanston nonprofit community, for example. Tonight, you'll hear about some of the innovative ideas that have become reality through teamwork and through our newly created Rapid Response Fund. This year alone, we are proud to share that we have invested nearly $2 million to strengthen our community. We have listened first and responded with agility to local need by leveraging our endowment, a pillar of a community foundation. Through the Rapid Response Fund, we have redesigned our grant making to best serve you. We've built our response during this time around 3 phases: relieve, recover, and rebuild. With these phases, we have new grant cycles that are built to respond with immediacy and less restriction, because we know that right now, grantees simply need to continue serving their community, and the pandemic cannot stop it. It is too important, and our community members rely on them. Tonight, I thank you for joining us as we share the exciting grant awards for this very unique year. You will hear directly from some of the grantees who are doing such inspiring work. These are the real change makers. I'm pleased to now introduce you to just a few of our incredible grantees who are making this nonprofit community thrive. Tonight you'll hear from Young, Black, and Lit, Evanston Rebuilding Warehouse, Reba Learning Center, and Connections for the Homeless. We know that if we invest in the Evanston nonprofit sector, that we can directly challenge the social injustices we see every day. We do not view this as an option, but as our responsibility. Through these investments, we know that your organizations are able to continue to thrive, strengthen your work, and build community connections and an empowered Evanston. You'll now hear from some of our investment partners who will share their purpose for joining us in community change and will inspire you with their stories. You are going to have a great evening. I hope you're ready for a beautiful, exciting, and moving time.
Hello, my name is Quinice Roseman. This is Derek Ramsey. We're the co-founders of Young, Black, and Lit, which is a nonprofit organization founded right here in Evanston, Illinois. Our mission is simple. We provide books featuring Black characters to local youth for free in the community. We do this by partnering with schools, teachers, local organizations that are serving youth to get books directly into the hands of youth that are culturally relevant, that speaks to their experience, and also allows non-Black children, the opportunity to get a glimpse into the lives of children who do not look like them at all.
My name is Betty Bogg. I'm the Executive Director of Connections for the Homeless. Connections for the Homeless works to end homelessness by serving and catalyzing our community. And we do this through three main areas of work. We call them the pillars of our work. The first is eviction prevention. The second is shelter, because sometimes people will lose their homes and they need a place to land. And then the third is housing, because that's the actual solution. People sometimes ask me, what's the solution to homelessness? And the answer is housing. So
ours from the very beginning. So I'm Ina Gutierrez. I'm the Executive Director of the Evanston Rebuilding Warehouse. We are a nonprofit organization that has a dual mission. We care about environmental sustainability, and the way that we do that is by saving building materials from landfills. We resell those materials at affordable prices in our reuse warehouse, and we have a workforce training program in deconstruction. So we literally take apart houses by hand for recycling and reuse. And we work with people who are overcoming barriers to employment to get access to the building trades.
Hello, my name is Betty Cones. I am the Executive Director for Reba Early Learning Center. We are an early childhood education and care program for children 2 to 5 years of age. The program was founded in 1966, so we've been around for a while. And when I first started there, I had a lot of skills and expertise in early childhood education, but I did not know a lot about grants or how to acquire donors. So through the Evanston Community Foundation and their Root to Fruit program, I was able to learn a lot about what to do, what the language meant in terms of working with grants and donors. So I'm not an expert by any means right now, but I know a lot more than when I started almost 7-8 years ago.
Was that as a new organization, there's a lot of things that we didn't know that we didn't know. Right? We don't come from an experience or a background that's in nonprofit management, and so we wanted to kind of have some support to look into and to evaluate, the approaches that we were taking, and the aspects of our programming that could be evolved as a result of, learning more through the Roots of Fruit grant. And
so our current partnership with ECF is through the Building the Future program. And what this has allowed us to do is to continue to build greater community engagement by inviting people to come in and make major gifts. And those gifts help us grow our financial sustainability and overall our impact.
So we're so grateful that we've actually received 3 individual general operating grants from the foundation that have helped us so much during this crazy time. Funders want you to do things, and general operating allows you to do what you need to do in order to keep things going, to respond the way you need to respond in the moment, and to say yes to things. And if you don't have that backstop of general operating funds, you can't say yes because there's nothing to make it go.
So the coronavirus has impacted our program significantly. We had to close in the middle of March, and we are still closed to this date. We have employees that needed assistance. We have children and families that needed support during this time. And it has been a whirlwind of unexpected challenges, surprises, and uncertainty about how to move through this process.
I think as we think about this particular time that we're going through with COVID-19, with schools going into quarantine, Roots of Fruit is very flexible with kind of the processing and the support and the requirements and the restrictions on the funding that we've had. And so that flexibility has also, pushed us into a new arena, trying some different avenues and some different ways to still reach the students when they really need books the most, right? If you think that they're not in school every day, they don't have access to a library, we've been able to shift to creating that home library through shipping books directly to students.
We're obviously right now in the middle of a giant, unprecedented pandemic. Our first senior management meeting at the beginning of March was geared toward making a decision about whether we would really be able to continue to function as we had been functioning, where we run drop-in centers. We do a lot of work with food and clothing for people who don't have those basic needs. And we came to a decision point, and in that moment decided we absolutely have to keep going. We just need to change absolutely everything we were doing. And so
with COVID, we had to change everything. We had to change our communications, our programs, our operation. We were only closed for 2 weeks and reopened in early April as an essential business, and really had to make sure that every moment of every day we were keeping ourselves, our trainees, and our customers safe.
Oftentimes, parents feel uncomfortable asking for help, especially if they feel like they've never had to ask for help before. And we have the opportunity through the Evanston Community Foundation's grant to provide assistance to families without them having to provide any documentation or having to ask for it.
But it soon became apparent that we would also need to do more for people who needed immediate shelter. Toward the middle of March, that hotels were a good option for people who were, particularly people who were living on the streets. So the first wave of people, about 100 people who we knew were living on the streets, came to us in our hotel operations right away, and we were able to get them housed. And that was sort of clarifying and gratifying that it was clearly such an obvious solution. Hotels were empty. It was people were willing to work with us, and it was an immediate solution to a very desperate problem.
She said that she received those books right on time, that she was trying to find a way to engage her child. During this time, she didn't really have a lot of resources, and those books came at a perfect time to help her engage her student in reading and literacy.
We've received support to build employment pathways for our trainees. I mean, it's really been across the board that we've been able to come to the foundation as a partner and say, listen, we have these needs. In this moment, can you help us? And usually the answer is yes. If we can, we will.
the degree of responsiveness was really remarkable. I couldn't believe it. And so that, knowing that the foundation had our back in that moment financially was instrumental in us being able to say yes to things. So one of the things that we've learned, and I would say that the scales have really fallen from our eyes about systemic barriers that were in place, part of which we have nothing to do with, and part of which we were limited by our imagination to some degree. And when we were able to act so quickly and house so many people, we realized, we talk about ending homelessness, and we did it. We actually did it. And
we can't do this work alone. And, we are not a huge organization. I think the other benefit of being in a place like Evanston is there are so many collaborative partners. So we rely on our friends. We rely on the Evanston Community Foundation. We rely on the City of Evanston's Youth and Young Adult Division, the Moran Center. I mean, so many of these grantees are our friends, and we're really coming together knowing that we have to build a village of support to help people get on a path to financial sustainability. And so I don't take that lightly. It's actually something I love about working in this community, that we're all bringing our best in what we do and our unique contribution to the table to really benefit all of us.
It's been transformative for us to have this experience and to do it with the kind of support we've gotten from ECF, and then how that's leveraged our fundraising partner, our funding partners. It's been amazing.
So it's not just about an agency working with another agency. It's about people collaborating with other people and building partnerships and friendships that are ongoing and very meaningful to me personally.
Of love and honor and appreciation that you guys have been here with us through this journey so far, and we hope that you guys stick with us through the journey going forward.
Yes, the best is yet to come.
Thank you, Monique, and thank you to those incredible organizations doing such meaningful work. Evanston sure is lucky to have these amazing thought leaders. Now, we know this work simply could not happen without the meaningful investments of our philanthropic partners. Tonight, I am excited to introduce you to ECF board member, local physician, fitness coach, and all-star community member, Dr. Sharon Robinson, who will interview Nikki and Chris Brummett, Evanston Investors in Equity. They will share with you their purpose for investing in a stronger Evanston and why is it so important. Welcome, Dr. Robinson and the Brummetts.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sharon Robinson. I am a pediatrician in Evanston, Illinois, and I serve as a board member for Evanston Community Foundation.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nikki Brummett.
Hi, my name is Chris Brummett.
And we are monthly donors for the Evanston Community Foundation, and we participate in many events.
I think we'll start off by just finding out a little bit more about the two of you. What specifically piqued your interest regarding Evanston Community Foundation?
We both really enjoy giving to ECF because we're not always sure what to do with our money. So it's nice to have a steward that we trust to do that for us.
Community. I wanted to give to the community, and that was just our initial way of giving. I think there are some funds that kind of piqued our interest at the beginning too.
What do you hope will be accomplished through your investment with Evanston Community Foundation?
To continue to be diverse, to give the ability, and even kind of to help those that might be down too.
Yeah, I really love that ECF doesn't just choose a place and give to that place or that organization. They look at the current need, whatever the current need is. What do people need right now? What is that? Evanston is quite diverse, but very segregated.
Yes.
And I would love to see just a change in how people are interacting and coming together. And I'm hoping that the Black Lives Matter movement will help with that as well.
With the murder of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement, we have also pivoted again and been able to shift, even within that COVID relief fund, some of those dollars to our Black and Brown communities, because we know that we are being impacted in a very different way. What is your vision for Evanston, or one of your visions or your dreams or hopes for Evanston as a community? And what role do you believe Evanston Community Foundation can play?
It's important for us to be in a community that's inclusive, that welcomes them and that supports them in their growth as they grow. And we hope that the Evanston Community Foundation will do those things. And some of those things may not be things that I even think about or even have any knowledge into, but are important to our community.
I'd just like to thank you on behalf of the board and everyone involved with Evanston Community Foundation for your continued support.
Thank you. Wow, how inspiring was that? Dr. Robinson, Nikki, and Chris, thank you for all you do to support ECF and the full Evanston community. And now, back to our leader, Monique. Take it away.
Thank you, Tim. And thank you, Dr. Robinson. Thank you, Nikki and Chris. We simply cannot do this work without you. The way our community has come together since this pandemic gives me hope. While we have seen so much tragedy lately, I see true change happening in our city and our country. We know that we must continue to stay laser focused to invest in an Evanston that is inclusive and equitable for all, an empowered and engaged community that collaborates across sectors to define problems and work on solutions, and creating a thriving nonprofit sector. Now, I am pleased to share with you some of the incredible organizations that are on the ground implementing the work of equity. C&W Market and Evanston Cradle to Career.
Hello, my name is Wendy Weaver. I am the owner of C&W Market and Ice Cream Parlor. I am the W in C&W.
Clarence Weaver, C&W Market and Ice Cream Parlor. As Wendy mentioned, we've been active with C&W since April 2014. Our initial focus was on convenience items and our ice cream parlor, catering to the community where we serve individuals within a 1 mile radius.
My name is Maricar Ramos. I am the Executive Director for Evanston Cradle to Career. Evanston Cradle to Career is a collective impact organization in Evanston with 40 partners. Our mission and vision as an organization is to get to an Evanston where by the age of 23, every youth has the same opportunity for success, in life and professionally.
We were impacted by the stay-at-home order. Our foot traffic decreased from, our 100% of our number to 85%. So once we started doing the grocery giveaway, we were able to do something that kind of tied into our tagline, which is here to serve our community. So we were able to adjust our ability to provide service to the community in a different way. And that way is to assist every week with delivering groceries.
Is that as soon as COVID-19 hit, Evanstonians and all the organizations and all the corporations really kind of bonded together and tried to figure out what can we do in this moment and how can we do it differently. ECF also has obviously been an incredible support to all of Evanston in this process. I know that we received additional grant monies from the foundation, and we've used that in a variety of ways. One of the ways that we've utilized it is that I think, as a lot of us know, there are many Latinx and other immigrants that have undocumented status and didn't necessarily qualify for a lot of the federal programs. So one of the things that we did in partnership with ECF is take the money that we were given and granted it out to these families.
We get phone calls from the seniors each week. We do get that phone call as a reminder. What time will you be here? And I'm going to be standing outside at this hour. Can you be here at this time? So, but it's just a joy to be able to work with the seniors and be able to provide this service to them, especially during a time when they can't get out.
And, you know, unfortunately, there were a lot of families that were afraid to even claim the money because of the fear that there would be a public charge, you know, that they would be seen as a public charge. And as we know, that's been a conversation that's been happening federally.
We look at the impact that we're making on the community. We're finding that this pandemic has allowed us to partner with a number of entities, and specifically the Evanston Community Foundation. We've been assisted with resources in so many different ways that this has been a strong community effort, and I believe everybody that's benefiting from this, those that have to stay at home, seniors that can't get out, and those with the District 65 family that have members that have lost jobs, lost employment, but we're still able to assist by providing them with the items that they need to make their home safe and secure. So,
with COVID-19 and with all the racial unrest that came from George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, you know, something has cracked open. I really see it as an opportunity as things are breaking open for us to all do things differently.
By partnering with Evanston Community Foundation and Evanston Aid, the look in the community and the look and feel of all parties working together is a strong show of force. And it's not just one organization that's making a difference, it's us collaboratively.
And the right people are at the table, and we're thinking about the decision making in a really great way, and has really allowed me to have the opportunity to think about what happens next, right? How can we really create this new era of collective impact?
Now, I think because there's been access, they're able to see what different businesses like ourselves can do. And we're able to see what we can do as well. I mean, you're only able to grow once you have a need and an opportunity. Wendy and I are both thankful of the fact that despite the drivers for these opportunities, we've been fortunate to be able to step in and try to maintain our safety as well, but get it done for those that are truly in need.
How amazing to hear about this meaningful work, especially right now. Thank you for pushing forward with innovation and listening to your community when it needs it most. We are so lucky you called Evanston home. Now I'm back to Monique to highlight the importance of partnerships to strengthen community.
I am proud that we can be leaders and humbled by the work happening through partnerships we are so grateful to have. We are only able to continue implementing our work through these relationships. We are grateful to partner with our investors, with the City of Evanston, Northwestern, District 65, and the many co-conspirators we have the pleasure of working with. Now, I'm pleased to share with you some of the thought leaders in our community who have come together to make true and immediate change. Listen up, because you are going to hear about these incredible new ventures and how they've already begun implementing real change. We'll hear from Evanston Care Network and Evanston Latinos.
I'm Audrey Thompson. I'm the Community Services Manager for the City of Evanston. I coordinate the Youth and Young Adult Division as well as Senior Services Division. You know, my involvement with ECF has really been since COVID. The biggest part of that that I've worked with ECF is with the Evanston Care Network.
Hello, my name is Rebecca Mendoza, and I'm currently the president of Evanston Latinos. We were founded April 23rd in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. We formed as a result of seeing a direct need in the Latino community.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Mendoza, and I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator for Evanston Latinos. I started working directly with Evanston Latinos as a result of COVID-19 and the need, specifically our Spanish-speaking undocumented mixed status community, to have somewhere to go where they can communicate in the language that they know and feel comfortable in to access resources.
Being the hardest hit of our community members in Evanston, we saw that there was a lot of need, and so we actually as a group have been meeting for over 2 years, since 2017. 20 of us just meet to share information, to share resources. But we see now the need in the Latino community is going to be different as a result of the pandemic.
And we found that the residents of the city of Evanston really didn't know where to turn for help. They knew that there were programs and services available, but they were like, how do I find these programs and services?
I reach out to families that are either connected to me through the school district, through social workers, through organizations that are providing services. I connect them to different assistance like mortgage aid and a financial aid for their rent. I also connecting them to other available funds.
The greatest needs when all of this happened was really food. That was one, housing was one. After we were able to get the information changed to the Evanston Care Network and got the information out, people were able to go straight on the Care Network and find resources for food.
In an undocumented household, why you don't ask for help. I had the pleasure of hearing her story is they've been waiting for residency for over 20 years. So to wait for 20 years and to jeopardize your place in line by asking for help is something that a lot of people don't understand.
In order to make sure that people understood that there were food resources throughout Evanston. So I think that is the wonderful piece about the Evanston Care Network, that service without having to call someone. Sometimes you don't really want to talk to someone about what needs you have. Sometimes that could be a dignity issue.
I also have another mother who is a mother of 4, amazing family. She's a single mother, and she was a housekeeper and, did not reach out to anyone until she was at the breaking point. A wonderful person that has never needed to rely on anybody. It was really, really hard for her to reach out for help. Now she thankfully has assistance for food every week. Her rent has also been paid.
So where the city did not bail us out, the federal government did not bail us out, here in Evanston, what helped was community, and Evanston Community Foundation played a huge role in convening our community and providing the resources through the emergency relief funds.
What amazing things can happen when we just work together and put it all out there and say, I have this piece. We always talk about pipelines. And sometimes when you're looking at the alphabet from A to Z, I don't have everything from A to Z. The Evanston Community Foundation has, A through. The city of Evanston can pick up from there. And then 311 can pick up because we don't all have to do the same thing and we don't have to be perfect in everything.
I think through this work, we feel seen, whereas we didn't feel seen before. And my hope is that we continue to not put it all on Evanston Latinos to do the work of reaching out to the Latino community, but that individual organizations begin to see the need and also the value that we add, because we do add a lot.
When we work together, that's just perfection. So that's what happened with the Evanston Care Network, and I'm proud.
How amazing. Thank you for coming together when Evanstonians need you most. It has been an honor hosting this evening's event, and I would like to personally thank each of you for joining us today. And now I am thrilled to introduce you to our current chair of the Evanston Community Foundation's Board of Directors, Lisa Altenburn.
Thank you, Tim. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lisa Altenburn, and I'm so excited to be here at this important event. As board chair, I have the privilege to see the foundation listen to our community and respond with intention every day. Especially in these unprecedented times, ECF has made significant investments in challenging the social injustices that plague our community. You have heard about the investments at work tonight. Work being done in this community is unique to Evanston and only happens with the very dedicated individuals who assume the responsibility of implementing change. We are beyond lucky. One investment ECF makes is the time commitments and expertise so generously shared by our board members. Our board members are professionals in a variety of fields and are also representative of the communities we serve. This year, I would like to celebrate a specific board member with ECF's Special Kogan Award, only given to a board member who has invested countless hours and insight to making the community a more welcoming place for all. This board member has been generous and creative in his commitment to ECF. He's a strategic thinker and provider of wise counsel who has a unique ability to guide discussion, drawing out the opinions of others and persistently, yet respectfully, pushing ECF forward. A favorite phrase of his, now I'm just thinking off the top of my head, is typically followed by 3 cogent points that move the discussion seamlessly to the next level. Thank you for keeping our feet to the fire and our eyes on the big picture. It should come as no surprise, and I am so pleased to announce that this year we present the Kogan Award to Larry Singer. Congratulations, Larry. I can't wait until we can celebrate in person, but for now, a virtual cheers to you.
Thank you, grantee leaders. I say it every year, but of course this year is quite different. We are grateful. Thank you, Tim, for always bringing your best to the show. Thank you, change makers. Thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you to all the Evanston Community Foundation staff. I call them Team ECF. Thank you to Bond Creative for changing with us, flexing with us, and bringing this to bear amongst these circumstances. You truly made this event possible. But most of all, thank you to the Evanston community. This has not been an easy road to follow. So sticking by us and working with us to make the best out of the worst is the best thing that you could do. So thank you for including us and holding us accountable at this time and letting us ride this adventure and remain thriving, even as the times get tougher. We sure are lucky to be on your team. Have a great evening.